Jonathan, welcome to UNSW. It's great to have you here for the first UNSW ESCO Economic Measurement Conference. Thanks for your talk this morning on the importance of intangibles and understanding what's happening across countries and the impact that intangibles might be having on our understanding of productivity growth. Could I ask first, if you were to summarise your talk this morning in a few lines, how would you summarise it?
Thanks, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here. And I've learned an enormous amount from all the work that UNSW have done, both you and your colleagues. Our work is about how the economy has changed. In the old days, economies produced very tangible things, ships and vehicles and cars and so forth. But nowadays, economies are much more involved in producing intangible items, ideas, software, movie scripts, new ways of doing things, marketing concepts. And so it's about the transition of the economy from that older style to a newer style based much more on those knowledge and those intangible style assets.
So how do they affect our view of the economy? What are we getting wrong if we're not considering intangibles?
We've got a measurement system in the economy which is terrifically designed in line with the kind of key economic concepts. We want to capture stocks, we want to capture flows, we want to capture depreciation, we want to capture the notion that these goods wear out and they last for a long time, and but they don't last for an infinite period of time. So we've got that whole system set up, but it's very much set up to measure the tangible side of the economy. And so we have questionnaires that we send out to firms where we say, how many vehicles are you investing in? How many buildings are you investing in? And those are things which firms can make some sense of. What's much harder is to ask firms about the amount of software which they're developing, the new marketing ideas they're coming up with, the new business process ideas that they're trying to innovate. And that's harder for firms to answer and to come to some kind of organised view in a way that we can, as data collectors, sort of collect all of that. But equally, it's something which is very resonant for firms who understand that often that's the source of the competitive advantage behind their business success.
So if I understand from your work and your talk this morning correctly, investment in intangibles now outstrips investment in tangible capital. So surely this is a problem, is a challenge for our understanding of what's going on in the economy if we're not adequately measuring intangibles, and they're harder to measure.
Well, they are, and roughly speaking, if you'll forgive me some figures for Europe, for every euro or pound or dollar, figures for Europe and US, of tangible investment, there's about a pound, euro, dollar 17 of intangible investment nowadays. So this stuff is much more important than it previously was. As I say, Kevin, that I think if you go and talk individually to firms, this is very resonant to them. They understand that they can buy a car, they can buy a vehicle, they can buy a new building, but everybody else can do that as well. So that is unlikely to be a source of competitive advantage, whereas some sort of innovative process, some new product which they've developed, some new way of trying to get their branding in order is the source of their competitive advantage. But as I say, to put some dollars and cents on all of that, they find much more difficult. They're not helped, of course, by some of the management accounting conventions, which are typically very reluctant to count some of these items. And in some ways, the national income accounting, that is to say the people who are putting together GDP, are moving slightly ahead of the company accountants. But again, it's trying to get firms to report all of this in a way that we can then take to economic data and try to see if we can understand economic trends.